What would happen to an American who traveled to the Soviet Union during the Cold War? He would be monitored, secretly photographed, and even have his life threatened. Yet he still chose to come, all for one reason: to fight for the handheld rights to Tetris. Hank found Yevich, the Soviet official in charge of video game licensing. He introduced himself as a representative of Nintendo, here to purchase the handheld rights to Tetris. Yevich looked at the game cartridges in Hank's hands and told him that the Soviet Union had only sold the computer version rights to the Mirror Group. The arcade cartridges Hank possessed were not legally licensed. To clarify the situation, Yevich summoned the game's developer, Alexei, and brought out the original contract they had signed. After reading it, Hank realized that the Mirror Group had exploited the word computer. They classified game consoles without keyboards as computers as well. By that definition, it technically wasn't a violation. However, the arcade rights were clearly infringed. Hank stated that the arcade rights alone could be sold for $150,000. This deeply displeased Yevich. He told Hank to come back the next day. At the same time, Hank's competitor, the Mirror Group, was also trying to secure the handheld rights. They contacted a high-ranking KGB official by phone and offered $400,000 in bribes to help them obtain the license. Meanwhile, Hank secretly went to visit Alexei at his home. He deeply admired the man who had created Tetris. Two talented programmers quickly became friends. Alexei even invited Hank to play the game, using its original source code. While playing, Hank raised a question he had thought about for a long time.
Why can't both lines disappear at once instead of one at a time?
That single remark was a revelation for Alexei. After making the change, the game underwent a qualitative leap in gameplay. But as soon as Hank returned to his hotel, the KGB came for him. He was beaten violently and warned to leave the country immediately. His hotel room was searched, and the KGB even went to threaten Alexei and his family. They warned him that if he continued contacting Hank privately, they would make it impossible for his family to survive in the country. Still, Hank refused to give up. He returned to Yevich once more and proposed an offer: a $25,000 advance payment, plus 25 cents for every unit sold, in exchange for the handheld license.
How many games do you expect to sell?
Conservative estimate? Million? My estimate is 20 million. That means you get $5 million.
Oh, come on. You guys are the kings of cliffhangers.
A senior KGB official approached Yevich. He said the government demanded that the license be sold to the Mirror Group, but when Yevich met with them, he found their offer shockingly low. He immediately understood that the KGB had accepted bribes behind the scenes. Even so, under KGB pressure, he demanded that the Mirror Group pay real money. After negotiations, the Mirror Group agreed to pay $1 million and signed a letter of intent. Once payment was made within a week, the deal would take effect. Before Hank could finish his negotiations, he was escorted out, but Yevich secretly led him to the back door and quietly signed another letter of intent with him instead. The reason was simple: the Mirror Group had deceived him before, and Hank's offer was higher. He preferred to give the license to Hank. Yevich told him, before the Mirror Group transferred the money, bring Nintendo representatives and submit a real offer. Soon, Hank returned to the Soviet Union with two representatives from Nintendo. They made a direct offer: $10 million for the license, plus $1 per unit sold. Faced with these terms, the Mirror Group's offer was meaningless. Yevich immediately signed the contract with Hank.
You are not safe until you leave Moscow. Go.
The KGB soon arrived after hearing the news.
Maxwell has no money. He voided the contract. I had no choice.
I run a billion-dollar corporation. Of course I have money. Just not at this exact moment.
What about my money?
What do you mean, your money?
Yes, what do you mean your money?
At this point, Kevin, desperate to secure the rights, promised the KGB half of the game's profits in exchange for help capturing Hank. While Hank and his team were fleeing, they were intercepted by the KGB. Fortunately, Alexei arrived just in time and helped them escape. After searching the airport in vain, the KGB discovered that Hank had boarded a different flight. When they attempted to continue the pursuit, the official involved was arrested on the spot for accepting bribes. In the end, Nintendo's Game Boy, powered by Tetris, generated over $110 million in sales in an extremely short time. Hank later sent Alexei a new handheld console and several plane tickets, helping relocate his entire family to the United States. Eventually, the two of them founded the TETRIS company together. This story is based on real events.